Back on Get Up, Wake Up Call, Merrill Reese, Eagles Radio, take it away.
Trail 37-6 with under 10 to go in the fourth quarter. Mahomes is back. He's hit. He fumbles the football. A fight for the ball, and the Eagles have it. It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59.
What a thoroughly dominant performance last night, and so we've spent the first 46 minutes of our show talking about the Eagles, and rightfully so. Let's talk about that man, Patrick Mahomes, and his pursuit of being the greatest quarterback of all time. That's a fascinating screen that you have there. When Tom Brady won his third Super Bowl title, he was 27 years old. A decade went by until he won his fourth. We'll see how long it takes Patrick Mahomes to win his fourth. He had a shot at it last night. Teddy Bruschi, you were a teammate of Tom Brady's when he won that third Super Bowl and then was going for the fourth in a night that felt a lot like last night did when you guys are going for the perfect season and everything else. Brady didn't have a great night that night against a great defense. He didn't struggle the way Patrick Mahomes did last night. What did you see from Patrick Mahomes last night?
Well, Patrick Mahomes and mainly, the Kansas City Chiefs and the enormity of what the situation that they were in. The Super Bowl, it's normal to them. You play and you got a couple in your back pocket. It's like you try to win the Super Bowl that tops all other Super Bowls. This would have been the one for them. The 07 one would have been the one for us. And I said it on Countdown yesterday. You lose this one like they did, and you'll remember this just as much as, if not more than, every single one you've won. And because when you get to this point of winning, like the Chiefs are, you're trying to get to the next level of winning even. And this was like a 3-year quest for them to do something that had never been done before. So is it hard to get over? I would say no, that they'll be back, but it's something that do I think of often, especially the last 2 weeks talking about this game, watching them and me being curious absolutely to see, can it be done? Can it be done the 3 in a row, Nick? It was something where I sort of wanted to see it.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of the psychological impact that they had and aura that they had is knocked out of this a little bit, because last year there was no chance that they were supposed to win the Super Bowl last year, and they went and did it. They were getting beat up in the game, and they managed to figure it out. The same thing with the Eagles Super Bowl. We were starting to get to a point where we thought about this team as somewhat magical and invincible. And we saw, what beats magic? Physicality, because it beats everything. And so everyone who's watching this tape and all these AFC teams are looking at this like, we can do that too. We should have done it all year.
Dan, I need your help from a quarterback's perspective. So this is just my vantage point watching the game, and I'm in the stadium, so I understand maybe I don't see all of the things that one might normally see on television. Obviously, the Eagles' defensive line destroyed the game, and that was an enormous factor. It looked from where I was like Patrick Mahomes was rattled. He looked flustered. He looked defeated early. He looked shaken early. What did you see through a quarterback's eyes in a guy who clearly is the best player of his generation?
Yeah, I think the big thing was that Patrick had zero trust in what was around him and who was around him. And you saw a quarterback that, if you just watch their feet, I always say watch the quarterback's feet. Patrick's are always a little bit kind of unsettled. I don't want to say unsettled. Patrick's a little bit creative. Last night, it was like quick, and his feet were all over the place. And for a guy that usually is magical within the pocket and his movement, it was a lot of doubt. It was almost like the quarterback was playing with a question mark. Look at his feet. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. He looked like a rookie playing almost. Like, look at his feet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And there's nowhere for him to throw the football. So often we see Patrick try to move up in the pocket. These are moments where he's spinning and running around. Yeah. This is, I think, the first third down of the game. So
it's almost the way he looked pre-Tooney.
Yeah.
Because before they did that, the last resort was putting Tooney out there, and Tooney got away with it for a little bit. That settled Patrick a little through the playoffs. But then this is back to where now Tooney's got a problem, and now it's over.
It looked like the Tampa Bay Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When he had four backup offensive linemen, and that was a blitz-heavy defense from Tampa.
In the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, they were ready for it. Mentally, they were prepared for it, which is part of the reason why I think Patrick was impressive in that game. It seemed like in this game, I don't know if you saw this, Rex, but it seemed like they were surprised. Like, they thought that their game plan was going to work. They thought that they were going to have time to execute these downfield passes, and they just didn't.
Yeah, to me, their plan on paper looks good. because what you're doing is you're worried about, you're putting all these routes up and things like that, all right? He's thinking that, look, they're only going to rush 4 guys. So we're going to have time to throw. We'll go with a 6-man. We got 6, actually.
They got 4.
6-man protection. We got 5 linemen and a back or a tight end and scan protection. And so they're playing it. So they think they have time. That's what paper tells you.
Right.
You know what? You got nothing. You got turnstiles at tackle. Like, you had no chance. That plan was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. They overestimated their offensive line in this, and I have no idea why they did, but they did. All right? When they ignored the opponent they were playing, that's what happened. This Philadelphia Eagle team gave up more rushing yards than they gave up passing yards during the season.
Yeah.
Where the hell was that? I thought it was a horrendous plan. You gave your team 0 chance. The quarterback, why he looked that way? 0 confidence.
Yeah.
And guess what? He should have had 0 confidence in the coaches as well. It was it was absolutely awful.
Earlier this morning, and we're rotating people in and out because all you guys were good enough to come down here, but Dominique, when we were back having breakfast, Louis Riddick said, when we look at the tape today, it's going to show there were receivers open downfield. The stuff was working in that regard. They just couldn't protect Mahomes to make the plays happen.
And not just eligible receivers, actually receivers. It seemed like to the degree that the Eagles had a plan, it was mostly just line up and play, but they wanted to take away the middle of the field as a passing option, it seemed like, because it takes longer to develop the outside routes. They knew that they could win up front, and you would see 2 and 3 people around Travis Kelce in the inside and sometimes around some of the slot guys. The throws that they needed to make were wide outside throws, and those take more time to develop, and they didn't have
And
it.
even any type of catch and run they might have tried to implement, Rex. I mean, Philly was tackling so well.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no worthy break tackle or Kelce broken tackle. All of a sudden, instead of a 4-yard gain, it's like 20 and 30. They just tackled so well also.
Everything was hard. Everything. Even the first touchdown that they make, Patrick's running it's like 20 miles an hour full speed to the sideline, throws it back across his body. Everything was hard. And I think early on what happens as a quarterback, when you get to the line of scrimmage, I remember doing this against teams like the Bears and the Colts and that Legion of Boom defense, you think it's going to be easy because you know where they are. And so you trick yourself going, we'll be good. And then what happens is the ball gets snapped and it happens so fast. It's suffocating, almost like the walls are closing in on you, and you start to play faster than you have to. I often say this, for a quarterback, play fast, not hurried. And Patrick played very hurried last night. I mean, think about it. The defense for the Eagles had more sacks through 3 quarters than the first downs allowed.
I think the physicality that we saw from them, that's a crazy stat. The physicality that we saw from them is something that we've been harping on, but they're such a smart and disciplined group also. And when you think about zone coverage, as a quarterback, I assume that you think, all right, there will be an answer there.
There's someone open.
I just have to find it. Yeah, like there's someone going to be open because every zone has a weakness.
Correct.
But they play so smart. Their route recognition, like they were closing in on these, and they were clearly made the decision to make Patrick Mahomes have to hold the ball for a half a second longer.
Right.
And he didn't have it. He just didn't have that half a second.
The lasting image of this game is going to be that moment where Jalen Carter just punches Patrick Mahomes in the face. I don't mean to laugh. It's sort of an uncomfortable laugh. The domination of this game is demonstrated right there.
If you're going to take it from a champion, you got to knock the champion out. They got knocked the hell out.
Everyone that was
That's
cheering
exactly
against the Chiefs,
happened.
that's their image right there. We have had enough.
That Jalen Carter is unbelievable. That defense, it was almost an arrogant game plan. They just lined up and said, we're just going to beat the hell out of these guys, and that's what they did. We have a really...
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.